Welcome to Lobster Magnets Review, the channel, the review. I'm here with my buddy Gorogregoro, and we are here to talk about the midway point of My Hero Academia Season 2. Thankfully, this isn't the end of the season, although, you know, it could have been not a terrible ending for the second season, but thankfully the anime gods have blessed us. Unlike Shingeki no Kyojin, that is, being taken away too soon, we are still going to have My Hero Academia fun time, and we still have 12 more episodes to look forward to.
Yeah, this was, there was a lot they were juggling around with this episode. There was, like, the Bakugo versus Fire Ice Dude. There was super fast run guy with his brother storyline. There was, what else was there?
There was a lot of material. There was the final fight with Bakugo versus, Shoto. There was the fact that Shoto coming to the resolution of, seeing his mother.
His mother thing, yes.
It was also an interesting theme in this episode, but sort of like, this is my starting line. This is where I become a hero. For Shoto, it was sort of like, coming to terms with his poor mother who was like locked in a mental institution and kind of reconnect with her, and that's his start of being a hero and sort of embracing himself on his terms and using his full power. Midora's terms of like, this is my start. My origin is, how can I, like, use this power that's been granted with me without fucking killing myself every time I fight?
Yeah.
As much as we love seeing him self-mutilate, I do like the fact that the series, like, keeps on reinforcing there are consequences to, like, tearing up your fingers. And there was also a great little bit of, and then of course there's Ida. I thought it did a great job of like balancing tone. There was like a lot of material covered in this episode, and it did a great job of like mixing like the comedy with the more serious pathos of like Shoto seeing his mother. The great scene where like Ida is like seeing his brother in the hospital, which is kind of like a pretty simple scene, but like it's really well directed in the sense that like. Oh God, his brother, he's still alive, but he's brutalized. Will he ever become a hero again? He got him, and his like idol has fallen. And obviously for such a simple and earnest character like Ida, who's like kind of like such a straightforward dork, how's this going to affect him? Well, I know how it's going to affect him, but like, and you can probably tell how it's going to affect him, but it foreshadows obviously a darker turn, within the upcoming next arc.
I'm wondering, actually, if it would have been a better idea if they did the whole sequence with Ida and his brother in, like, the following episode. Then, like, just had it be, like, about the tournament arc with Bakugo and Ice Guy, Fire Ice Guy, and then Fire and Ice Guy, decides to go to, deal with his issues with his mother and stuff.
I'm kind of glad that it wasn't, because that I'm pretty sure like all that material is from the manga. Mm-hmm. So if they extended it, that means they'd have to like put in filler or like extend the fight with Shoto and Bakugo, and sometimes with the studio like Bones, maybe they could like come up with more action beats to throw into it. But like I'm glad that it concise to the manga, no filler, and I think that's one of the reasons why My Hero Academia is kind of like really climbing. Is the fact that we're getting a really concise adaptation that's like really well directed and is not having any filler or bullshit.
Okay, when you put it out like that, I could definitely see that.
Because like when you're asking, that means it's less material to fill the episode with, which means you have to extend something else. Which, like, maybe coming up with some more bullshit for, like... Because, I was surprised. I thought the Bakugo versus Shoto fight was, really good. But I thought it was going to be a little bit more bombastic. Because, I remember being really impressed with it in the manga. When he does, like, his howitzer move and he flies in the air and he, like, twists himself and launches himself like a
That was awesome, man, seeing that animated. That was really good.
That was a good scene. I thought there was going to, like, be more over the top, like, the Midora versus Shoto fight that we all love so much. But it was simple and pure, and it fits with Shoto because he's conflicted right now. He's like, he's come to a real.
He feels mentally broken at the moment, I guess, in a way.
Well, he feels conflicted in the sense that, like, he wants to be a hero and use his full strength, but, he needs to get behind that mental block of, like, that's what his father wants, but how can he do that on his own terms, without giving in to what his father's greatest desire?
Also, like, his mother, too, because he doesn't want to show the horrific side of that to his mother.
Yeah, I guess you could say that this is digging a little deeper, but you could say that there's some subtext in the sense that, like, what's really suppressing his desire to use the fire is because he hates his dad, and his mother basically attacked him because, she reminded him about how awful and abusive Endeavor is, and she kind of had a mental breakdown, and he's partially doing it for her, because, he sees that as giving his father a victory, and that's the side of her that she hates. And in a way, ironically enough, Endeavor's cool demeanor is the thing that Shoto inherited most from him. The hottest hero is very cold to a lot of people, just like Shoto.
I'm not sure about that one, Isaac.
I think that's very astute. I thought it was a good observation. I liked it.
No, Isaac, the pun itself, I'm just like rolling my eyes over the pun itself.
Although an interesting thing is that, like, this is a minor spoiler if it happens in the future, but there's this future character who kind of hates Shoto, who's like a rival hero, and he's like, I don't like you because you have the same eyes as Endeavor, the eyes that looked at me as a child and, dismissed me, and you have those same eyes. So, in a way, Shoto does have a little bit of his father in him, even if he doesn't realize it.
Yeah, in a sense, and I guess his father can definitely see that, which is why he's like so proud of him a lot of the time when he's the top of his class. He's just like has a no shits given attitude most of the time.
Although it'd be interesting though, like, I don't know if we'll ever get like a Hunter X, like, a Hunter kind of like style Zoldyck family overview of the Endeavor family.
That'd be actually pretty cool.
I'd be interested because they've implied that he's got like all these fucking siblings. Like, he's got that like sister who we see for 2 seconds. We know he has other brothers, and we know that, like, on some level, Endeavor's like deeply disappointed. And, there's this creepy subtext that he just kept on like forcibly, he just like coerced impregnating his wife again and again until he got a child that didn't, displease him.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's how I imagine it.
And like he's like disappointed in all his other children for various reasons that we've yet to see. Kind of like how Killua, for some reason, is like, considered to be like the supreme Zoldyck family member, even though like Illumi's badass and tough, and I don't know why he's not the heir. He's also got that little brother sister who's in the Phantom trope.
I didn't realize there were heirs in the Zoldyck family.
Well, if you go back in the Hunter x Hunter mythology, they say that, like, there's like one, person in the generation who's considered to be the biggest prodigy is the one who inherits the family business and sort of leads the Zoldycks. Right now, that's Killua's father. Everyone in the family seems to think Killua's the successor, probably because maybe he's like the most spexy and looks the most like his father out of all the Zoldyck kids. That to me never really made much sense to me because, like, one, he doesn't want to do it, and two, Illumi seems like he's just as good at it. So, why doesn't Illumi just do it? What's wrong with Illumi? What's the fucking deal there?
I actually don't remember that storyline that well. I'd have to look back at it to see. But anyway, I think it'd be interesting to see the dynamic of the family for Shoto.
Yeah, I'd be very interested. There's an interesting scene that Endeavor much later. Endeavor's like an interesting side character, to have along, just this sort of like spiteful anger at never being able to surpass number one, and all the methods he does. he has a lot in common with Bakugo in a way.
Except not as super angsty about it.
Yeah, just not. His is like a cold, angry fire, as opposed to Bakugo, who just shouts and screams.
I like how Bakugo was just like, it's not fair. I wasn't number one fairly. I don't want to be number one like this. No.
It's interesting that Bakugo had like a great amount of growth in this thing. He's still kind of a shitty person, but his idea is as opposed to being like, I'm going to win through any means. He had this sort of showed this warrior's pride where it's like, it's not worth it unless he gets like a slam bang, destroy the stadium battle that Deku got.
Yeah. I wondered if he's ever going to be like satisfied. It seems like this is kind of like his way of motivating himself to be better. And he's just like, I'm not satisfied with number one of this tournament. He's like, I'm not going to gloat about it because, I want to be angry at something so I can get better.
Well, he views it like he got it unfairly, that he didn't use his fire side because he didn't use the fire side like he did with Midora. Okay. It's an unearned victory, which is why he hates it. And, Bakugo's an interesting character just because he is so unlikable and detestable initially, and that the moments of quiet and this moments of dignity, the kind of respect he shows to Uraka, and even this to a limited way.
I think you're being called, by the way.
1 second. Hey, Mom. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bakugo, he's exploding.
Thank you.
Exploding with character development.
All right. Got a little treat for later. Okay,
yeah. So you could say that Bakugo is kind of exploding with character development.
You could definitely say that. There's some great moments later on where he's just really quiet and you feel but they keep on emphasizing that Bakugo, does have a natural instinct for combat and a natural talent that many of the other heroes do not have.
Yeah.
He's got an awesome quirk. He knows how to use it, unlike someone like Ida, who is a pretty decent quirk, but he's kind of terrible at it. What's his fighting style? I'm gonna grab you by the shoulders and push you out.
Ida, he's just way too polite and honorable and people will take advantage of that
as the steampunk girl did,
right?
But it was a really good episode that moved a lot of things forward. I love the drama, of Ida. It made it feel like the weight of the world. As I've said before, there's and I'll make you read this at some point. My Hero Academia Illegals, the spin-off manga, which is surprisingly cute and charming. Had a whole little thing where a side character, the main character of that, meets up with Ida's brother, and he gives him superhero help, and they race along on the streets in the morning. And it's the most charming thing, and I love it because it makes this scene even more tragic because we get to see how much of a stand-up guy Ida's brother is.
Okay.
And now he's stuck in this near death in a hospital.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. I mean, from me watching the anime, I don't really know anything about Ida's brother and, what his personality is. So, that'd be kind of neat to see, a little bit of that.
I'll find a link and I'll show it to you later. It's definitely, I'd recommend read it. Anyone who likes the series to read it. Because, obviously Ida's brother is just he's just the role model guy. Oh, he looks up to him, which is, you can sort of understand it, but, doesn't really give him much depth. And, he doesn't have to have depth. It just needs to make it sad by the fact that he's, a nice guy, which I really appreciated. It's, those kind of details that, make spin-offs and ancillary material feel much more significant than, other shit.
Yeah. I could see that.
And that add to it that don't conflict with the main source material. And, it's a good, thoughtful little storytelling that shows that whoever the two creative parties are in sync. But this is definitely a very good episode. So Greg, here's the big question though: Just from looking on Reddit and like the anime community and Tumblr, I'm getting a sense that like this has done miles of to increase like My Hero Academia hype train. It's really getting close to that Naruto sort of level of ubiquity. I bet if we went to a con, there's like 10 times more My Hero Academia cosplayers.
I feel like the cosplay is gonna boost the popularity even more. It's gonna get more visibility, and then it's gonna, by the third season, people are gonna
go ape shit for the third season when that eventually comes. But so here's the question: the Chunin exam, basically the tournament arc is over. How do you think it stacks up to the Naruto Chunin exams?
There's a very big difference in like tone with like the Chunin exams and this. I feel this is God, that's so hard to compare the two of these. I think this, tournament exam was like worse, but
the Chunin
it
exam
had like
is
some really good highlights, like within the tournament arc.
I think, God, that might be a worthy video topic comparing the two. Because I think this is definitely really strong. There's a lot of great material, but I think the Chunin exams accomplished a lot of baggage. One, they felt more dangerous, that there was more at stake. There was a lot more enmity, animosity between the different characters in the Chunin exams. It felt like there was more at stake versus like the very safe version here. Mm-hmm. Also, the Chunin exams did a great job of like slowly expanding the mythology as it went along. Because, during the Chunin exams, we're introduced to Orochimaru. We're introduced that he's like a big deal. We're introduced to the Sannin.
The Sand Ninja.
Yeah, we're introduced to the Sannin Ninja. We're introduced to the concept of the Sannin. The Chunin exams keeps on building up until, like, by the end of it, it's this epic war, and it's become a multi-generational saga, which all climaxes with the Hokage's fight against Orochimaru.
And the Hokage dying.
Yeah.
It'd be like, what they have to do with the equivalent of, like, My Hero Academia. There has to be, like, All Might has to die. Or, like, the main teacher has to die. And, like, some climactic fight between, like, one of the evil kids, like, masters who, like, somehow infiltrated the My Hero Academia tournament and set up a jutsu barrier to fight only the teacher. And... yeah, like the Chunin exam had so much more going on for it, like in terms of a tournament arc. But this is very simplistic in its goals, but it accomplished its goals pretty well.
Very well. Like I mean, it sounds like when you compare it, like you're hating on My Hero Academia, but and I still really did like this arc, but even something like the Temari Tenten fight feel like it was like more clever and interesting, or the Shikamaru versus the Sound Girl fight than a lot of the fights which were kind of disposable, like Creation Girl versus the whatchamacallit, the Birdman, and he just like knocks her out of the arena.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of creativity and, like, super involved thinking during these, the tournament arc fights. And I would have loved to see some of that, I think. But, it's kind of... it's a little bit interesting of a divergence from something like Naruto. Where it's not like... it seems like it's trying to do its own thing. It's trying to express the tournament arc in its own way. It's like, it's not all about, like, the fights and the strategy. It's sometimes about, like, the emotional highs between,
and lows.
With, like, certain characters.
My Hero Academia does a brilliant job of that in the sense that, like, these aren't kids who are, like, trying to murder each other. These are kids who, just want to do the best they can. And, like Uraka's thing, like it was really emotionally when she's like crying to her parents, and her parents like rushing towards her and pushing her eye in is like a great emotional payoff.
Yeah.
And then, like, even if there aren't life and death stakes and huge amounts of complex mythology, it's still like developing the cast more, the likable personalities. We're getting to see Deku push to a limit and other characters push them. And, there's a lot of like great little mini arcs. Shoto gets a great development, obviously gets a lot of shit here. Which one? Deku gets a lot. Bakugo even gets so much, and other characters like Uraka get moments to shine.
Who's Uraka again?
She's the floaty girl.
Right. That's her
the best girl, waifu material, number one, because she's the first
floaty girl.
Yes.
Yeah, she even gets a little bit of character development. Her parents visiting her, eye popping out, and this series is really slowly evolving. It's not like trying to overhype itself by like, I guess, I don't know if this is like a best comparison, but like, look at something like Dr. Stone, where it's like trying to like be bigger than it shouldn't be.
Well, okay. This is a really interesting comparison because like Dr. Stone, I'd say, is at the evolution point of like maybe halfway through the first season of My Hero Academia.
Yes.
Because like the first 13 episodes cover basically like the first 20 episodes, and it's basically like the Country of the Wave, the first storyline. So how would you compare Dr. Stone to like My Hero Academia? Because like My Hero Academia season 1, like it's not bad, but it's still very basic bitch shonen storytelling. So it's not like super amazing. It's like, the kids have some fun lessons. They have like some trials for Midoriya to get past. And then there's like, some minor villains that they dispatch with, of course, a major villain. But, the rest of them are all just like kind of like cannon fodder for the heroes to show, all the various kids to show their stuff.
I think, My Hero isn't like trying to pull some like cheap tricks in like building up your, you like what you want to be involved in these characters, right? You want to feel like emotionally attached to these characters, and you want to like slowly build up to that. And they don't like. I think that's what My Hero does really well. It's like it's not trying to overhype itself. It's not trying to like do something, beyond what it should do. It's doing it at like the very right amount, I think. In terms of its like character development and building up its own symbology, its own whatever iconography. I'm just making up words now, but I'm like I'm trying to connect it back to Dr. Stone, the Dr. Stone discussion we had before.
Yeah, that like you think Dr. Stone is like kind of rushing, and it's like trying to like have this incredible villain clash, even though it hasn't really earned it.
Exactly. Yes. And there's like no build up to that.
An interesting thing that I wonder if like if all the like the scientific stuff that we really loved early in Dr. Stone, if he was just like the iShield 21 guy just got sick of researching it. So that's why he's like switching it to more of a battle focused thing, so he doesn't actually have to like look into his high school science texts.
I feel like it's he's just going back to something old and familiar, where it's sort of like iShield 21 is sort of like a shonen battle manga if you really think about it. But just involved with sports. It's just like translated through sports.
Everything's a fucking battle manga.
No.
What are they? The medium they're fucking battling with?
Like they're battling with their football tactics and like, I'm
like
going to use a special move to. It's like literally with iShield 21, he learns like a new special move in order to beat his
that's
football
like
opponents.
and that's like every fucking sports manga. Go fucking read Prince of Tennis, Haiku. That's pretty popular. Kuroko no Basket.
I don't think
Slam Dunk.
Hikaru no Go really does anything like that though. It doesn't really like follow that kind of formula. It was like, I'm going to learn this technique now to I gotta learn this technique and train really hard in order to beat my new opponent, kind of thing.
I don't know, isn't there like different layers of Go, and he learns about different board game strategies and teaches you the complexities of the game and whatnot?
I could go a little bit. I could go a little bit into Hikaru no Go, but I'd have to, you know,
All
it
right,
might
well,
take up a lot of time for
all
the
right,
video.
let's not get into it, but because we are getting far and like My Hero away from My Hero Academia. Um, but and obviously, like it's just about the quirks and how you can develop them, and it doesn't have to have like a real world thing. But it's interesting that My Hero Academia, and now My Hero Academia also has like a lot less work to do in its universe, and since it's like it's a real world, it's established versus the stone world, which for all we know, everyone is dead and turned to stone, which has a lot more work to like build something up versus just like this is just everyone's world, only everyone has X-Men superpowers.
Right. So Doctor Stone has to do a little bit of legwork in order to, you know, make its characters really stand out and likable, like have that kind of feeling of connection with the characters that oh, this is where he got the E=mc².
Yeah, that is true.
Thing.
Like, for Doctor Stone to succeed, it needs to be a lot smarter than it is currently now because, like, the characters are like Science Guy's fun, but like I don't love him. I just want to see him do cool science shit and like teach me things and see him do challenging science things. I don't love Endurance Guy. I can't even remember his fucking name.
Taiju.
Yeah, Taiju. Versus My Hero Academia's first early thing where it was like it did a really good job of setting up Deku and his struggle and his connection with All Might. That's kind of like, with the early connection of the very first early episodes for My Hero. That kind of like, and it also had like a great selling point in terms of like revealing My Hero, All Might's weakness and the fact that he's, has this ticking time clock. And that was like a great, like draws you in instantly.
Yeah, it really does. And that was a moment in the anime that really like hooked me in, where I was just like, oh shit, there's like some serious shit going down. Where it's like All Might is like, he's actually this skinny dude who's like bleeding constantly from his mouth, and there's like some deeper story behind that I want to hear about.
It was a great brilliant decision in the first chapter, and it's a great way to like earn interest in like make you want to see where it goes, as opposed to like I'm just going to be the best superhero and I'm going to teach you how to be a superhero.
Yeah, exactly.
But so Greg, what would you rate this episode?
I'd rate it a 9. This is a good 9.
Yeah, I think it's a 9. Like, it wasn't like, shit your pants amazing, but it was still, like, really well executed, juggled a lot of tone, a lot of heart. It's what people have come to the series for. It'll inspire hundreds of GIFs and memes and fan art and cosplay. And, this is the reason why people love shonen anime and manga. It's like, characters that try and do their best and, kind of serve as aspirational figures to us to, like, pursue our best and our dreams, hopes, and goals. And, that's a message that will never grow old, like One for All. Yeah. The idea of struggling and striving to achieve friendship, struggle, and victory.
Exactly.
It's the story. It's a story of 1,000 heroes and 1,000 masks, but, as long as you have your heart in the right place and you tell it well, people will always come back to it as long as you earn it. And My Hero Academia is definitely earning it. There is a little bit of me that's like a little bit saddened though, because I feel like I think Kishimoto did some like absolutely genius level virtuoso stuff with the Chunin exams, but it's cruel to like compare it. But, there's a reason why Naruto became a global, worldwide phenomenon and, one of the most successful manga of all time that's still not dead to this day and probably will have, like, a life like Dragon Ball Z where it just never dies out and will continue to be inherited by new generations.
You know what? The thing about the Chunin exam, there's just, like, so many different factors going into it that... was the reason why it should have been like it it was as successful as it was, and because like first of all, this was like a little bit later in the series than My Hero Academia's tournament arc. This is like the second season, and Naruto was like just like it already had two story arcs going into the Chunin exam, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It had like the Zabuza arc and also the pre-training story arc.
I could say, well, the Zabuza arc did a lot. That was like that was like what sold a lot of people on Naruto. And it's a very basic storyline, but it's got like a really good emotional current. It's got like great like tragic villains in Zabuza and Haku. And many people, that's like their favorite Naruto storyline of all time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the arcs that really hooked me into the series as well. And like the Chunin exam to go right like after that too was like a big factor. Like it just kept on escalating.
It's kept on escalating and getting bigger. Because the funny thing is, like, I think Naruto would have stagnated and died if it just kept to that format, Matt, where they just kept on doing missions with like stupid other like villagers and fighting mafia henchmen and bosses.
Yeah,
because like all those elements are like shit we see in Naruto fillers, and they're not really super important to the Waves storyline. But Kishimoto quickly evolved and kept on escalating the stakes and building his mythology, and that's why it became a global worldwide phenomenon. And as much as it is fun to shit upon Naruto and look upon it and like say, oh, look at those dumb Narutards with their stupid Akatsuki cloaks, my personal belief is that you don't get to be that big unless you're doing something right and you're connecting on a very deep level.
Yes. And
you don't earn that by accident. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult level to play at. And as we've seen with so many manga and shonen series that have tried to tape off and never quite make it to that level. But My Hero Academia, it's getting really close, and I think this next arc is going to be amazing. And I think the darker tone after the lighter stuff is going to be really people are going to love it.
Yeah, I think since it's because we started the tournament arc so early on in the series, it probably shouldn't be treated like a Chunin exam level tournament arc. So we haven't really started to understand the characters. We haven't grown too attached to them yet. Well, I think it's kind of perfect in a way in how it how this tournament arc progressed. At where it is in the story right now.
There are certain parallels. You could say that, just like Naruto's training to, becoming Genin with Sasuke and Sakura is comparable to Bakuga's, training against, throwing the ball, fighting the robot, and, and Deku fighting Bakugo in the training exercise. And then, the villain invasion arc is kind of like the My Hero Academia's equivalent of the Country of Waves. And then, going right into the UA Sports Festival.
Yeah, so I guess the killer guy is going to be Zabuza in a sense, right?
Yeah, I guess he is kind of like the series. Yeah, he really is like this. Yeah, you're 100% right. He is the series Zabuza in more ways than you could understand.
Well, that's going to be cool. I love Zabuza in his arc.
Yeah, the hero killer is a big deal, and I'm looking forward to seeing him more. Are you looking forward to seeing him more?
Yeah, and there's swords, Isaac. We gotta have swords in our anime.
I know every good anime has to have swords. It's the unwritten rule.
And did you notice in Promised Neverland there were also swords?
I know,
there's a giant sword.
Promised Neverland is going to be the best shit because they're now swords. And now the demons will have to give the swords names and give them special powers in different designs.
And you notice that because of that last chapter with the sword, they bumped it up. I mean, they translated it faster, right?
People knew swords equals hype train. Once you have a sword, if I'm living my dream lifestyle and I can make any manga I want, I'm gonna have to make something about fucking swords.
Oh, Isaac, that's what we're missing from all of our comics. We need characters that wield swords.
We'll have to get to it in fucking Heart of the Hollow. We'll have to figure out how to incorporate fucking swords, like some sort of like redneck samurai who has like a giant machete.
Oh my god! By the way, we're promoting our comic Heart of the Hollow.
Yeah, go read my fucking the fucking comic we do together. It's Heart of the Hollow. Shamelessly promoting. I don't know. Maybe in next week of the review we'll do a little bit better of a plug. Like this time, I just want to like export them, and the next time I'll like build in the advertisements and like actually include artwork from Heart of the Hollow and links and like I did with the previous video I showed you.
Oh yeah, I see that. Okay.
Right now, I just want to like get in a comfortable workflow of like getting these videos out. Improving bit by bit, getting better and better. Yeah. Oh my God, Greg! I got this idea. How about a manga about like becoming a YouTube personality? Like a Bakuman manga about how do you become the greatest YouTube video maker? I must write that. That'll be brilliant. I would read the fuck out of that. You battle with sub counts. There's like drama. There's just like upgrading your video format, learning new techniques of video, working on your voiceover skills, using your graphic art designs. Oh my God, that's a brilliant idea. Oh my God. You
have villains who are like drama seekers, and they purposely insult other YouTubers just to gain more popularity. And they're just like, I really don't hate that guy. I'm just using it to gain more popularity.
Oh my God! That's a brilliant idea! That's a fucking genius idea! I have to make it! Oh my fucking God! Oh my God! That's such a good idea! Well, it's funny though. There's like a new shonen manga that just launched. It's a new pilot. It's basically something about. It's a romance story, but it's about social media accounts. I haven't been able to find anyone who's scanlated it yet, but I don't think it's going to be that good because fuck, this is such a good idea, Greg.
It is a pretty good idea, but I also think it could also be Twitch streaming as well. It could be like
it could be anything. There could be like how they have like different manga style people in Bakuman. There could be like, there's the Twitch streamer, and then there's like the YouTuber, and then there's the Instagram personality.
YouTube Live account, and then there's the people who record their YouTube videos, and there's like some subdivision in their classes. There's like, you don't do any work with the editing of your YouTube content. You're despicable.
All you do are reaction videos.
Yeah. All you do is reaction video and
just
cat videos.
Just create like evil characters based on like personalities, like fucking
PewDiePie.
He is here and like Keemstar and shit.
Oh yeah.
Fuck. That is a fucking brilliant idea. I am angry right now that like I want to make that right now, and I don't want to spend $1,000 on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend that money. I could probably have the cat do it, and he loves like the art of like what's it called? Promise. He loves the art of like the Death Note guy, and like you could do such a good job of it. Oh my God! I'm angry. Why am I not making this right now?
Well, you could be after you work, or maybe you want to work with it with Scott and
maybe.
Or you want to do it on your own, or potentially.
Maybe. Me and Scott are working on something else right now, and I want to do more of these videos, and I'll figure something out. It's too good. It's too good of an idea not to like make, and I'm almost angry that I'm like talking about it in this video. Thankfully, not many people are like watching these videos, so we'll see. Maybe someone will steal it, but I don't think anyone will.
If someone does steal it and make a really good adaptation of it, I almost wouldn't mind that much because it's like it's such a cool idea that you want to see like created that I think just like having it out there in the open would be like really cool.
fuck, yeah. I would read the shit out of it. And if it's not as good, I can claim that I had the original idea, and once this video, it'll be posted, and I can make a better version of how it's really done.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, fuck. Such a good idea. Makes me angry.
So, how can we connect this back to My Hero Academia?
We really can't. It was a great episode. My Hero Academia. Well, see, this is the power of shonen. The fact that like you have these creative things that are inspiring you with more stories and to try and push things further and take new approaches. And, it's great, and that's why I fucking love shonen storytelling. Because, if I wasn't reading and watching this shit, I never would have, brainstormed that idea and felt inspired to, maybe try and bring it to life, because I totally could. I'm smart enough and have the resources that if I really wanted to, I could write something and have someone draw it up pretty quickly, but I just don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
We'll see. It's such a fucking good idea. That's the power of shonen.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I'd love to see it.
Oh my god, it's such a good idea. It's such a good idea.
Anyway, any final thoughts about My Hero Academia?
No, it was a great episode. That's the power of My Hero Academia. Watch it. Maybe you'll be inspired with your great idea and a dream you want to pursue, and it'll make you a better person. It makes you a happier person. Shonen manga makes you happy. Just as long as you don't, wind up fucking dry humping waifu pillows and bed sheets and fantasizing about sexy figurines all day.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
To take the good things, take the power to strive and do better and improve yourself, and try and leave the kind of less savory shit behind.
I guess, yeah. All right.
Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra. See you.
Plus Ultra. Yeah, it was a great episode. Thanks for watching this video review. If you stuck around, we had a lot of fun recording this. And like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one.
All right. See ya.
You got a lobster, you got a magnet. Lobster's a 10, don't you grab it.